Mario, this is another video. Today is Friday, November 14, 2025. I thought I'd spend a little time here since it is Friday, and I wanted to just take a break from all the stuff that I've been doing lately. And I pulled these helicopters. These are some old helicopters that I've had gathering dust. They have been in storage for many, many years. And so I decided to pull them out because they are a sort of an item of interest, especially these days that we have more modern helicopters that you can purchase, like that little guy, a more of a toy helicopter, but with a lot of new technology. Uh, 6-axis stabilizers and very very compact and very stable in some cases. That one is a little squirrely, but we're talking about helicopters like this with new technology versus something like this that we had in the old days. And this one is it's called the Skylark, um, manufactured manufactured by Ishimasa in Japan back in the I think this came out in in the early 80s. Um, I did a God, I did an earlier video, just a short video. Well, actually, I did a few short videos talking about this helicopter here, and I showed some early uh, related photographs of people that were doing helicopters back in these years. Myself, one of those people that I started started in the late 70s doing helicopters, radio control helicopters, with the intention of making my own helicopter that I could fly in the comfort of my own home. And at that time, I lived in Chicago. I lived in my mom's house, and she had a basement. And in the wintertime, you could not just simply go out and fly these things in the cold weather or heavy snowstorms. So I decided to develop a little helicopter. Well, not little, because they had to be that size because of the technology was not at the level that it is today. Eventually, I developed some micro, sub-micro, and pound-sized helicopters around between the years of late 70s, 80s into the 90s. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people know me that are still out there, some old farts that know exactly what I was doing. And some of those guys are just not, they won't mention my name. They know who they are, and they know that I know who they are, and this is for them too. Uh, so I started developing my own helicopters. I think there was a good degree of envy when I started doing my stuff, that these guys that were kind of sort of trying to do the same thing, or maybe had connections with some of these companies. They probably developed some products in the process themselves, so they never commented on my on any of the stuff that I was posting, or maybe they did. I think at the beginning, when I started posting on AOL, back in the when AOL just came onto the scene, the internet scene, back in the 90s. They were looking at my stuff, and they were checking out the stuff that I was producing back then. Um, the Robin, to be more precise, is one of the first micro helicopters that came out almost at the same time as the Piccolo. So there was also that competition there with the guy that developed the Piccolo. And interesting, some of the companies that had gone, that where he had, where the company that developed the Piccolo for that guy actually came to me first when they saw my Robin 280 and all the stuff that I was developing back in those years. And they asked me if I was willing to release all the molds and all the designs for the Robin 280, and I declined that. And so they went to the guy that developed the Piccolo helicopter, and that's how the Piccolo came onto the market. I have the the satisfaction, let me put it this way, that to say that all the stuff that I have developed, I never went to anybody, I never asked for any help. I developed all this stuff myself. All stuff that you see here, all these oldies but goodies, I acquired in the process of developing my stuff that I was coming across by talking to people, and people were saying, "Oh, and by the way, there's another company that's developing this. They're check it out." This is after I started developing a lot of my original stuff. Uh, kind of along the same lines as trying to make my goal was my target was to make a little helicopter, that, like I said, that I could fly in my basement and in the comfort of my home that I can train with. And so that's why I started. But I started very much, with similar size motors, because those are the motors that were available for the hobby, RC car motors like these speed of 500s, 600s. I showed that in some other helicopter that I did, that I showed recently in my short videos, that I turned into a 3D printed form helicopter. So this is just one of those helicopters that I obtained as a trade. The guy where this came from traded this helicopter in the same box that you see there. I think his name is also on the box. If I get a hold of that name, I will mention it in this video here. But he got a hold of me and said, "Mario, I noticed you have one of these little electric helicopters. I would like to would you like to trade? I have this particular one." And I go, "Yeah." So I traded one of my early micro helicopters called the MIA Sport LE. It's a little helicopter before the Robin 280. I did that back in the 80s and into the 90s. So I obtained this as a trade. That one I actually I think I bought that from a hobby shop. Kind of a skeletal. No, it had an engine. It had all the work, the servos and everything, and I actually took that apart in order to see if I could turn that into an electric. That's why you see it as bare bones there. But it is one of the, I think that's a Schluter Halley Boy. I do have the canopies for these. I just don't have them on this video here. But I just wanted to do this an introduction video into this electric helicopter. I'm gonna clean it up, and I'm going to open up that box and see what we have there. So my next video will have that. Stay tuned.